two, three. Good afternoon. Welcome to Essay Review with Toby Proulx. That rhymes.
Yeah, it does.
Toby is here as our guest reviewer, and I'm going to share screen, and Toby's going to tell us what this essay scored, if there's a thesis, if there's evidence, and what the line of reasoning is, if it even exists.
All right. I think this essay scores 1 for a thesis point. It clearly responds to the prompt and highlights that Adichie's book is talking about how the legacy of To Kill a Mockingbird is calling out the effects of racism and class discrimination today. So that answers the prompt.
And that is the legacy of
that is the legacy
okay.
of To Kill a Mockingbird. So that's the point for a thesis. And then he's able to clearly and logically connect the points with the evidence that he uses. So that gets 3 points.
Okay, hang on. Tell me, what are the points he uses and what is the evidence?
He says that Adichie compares her hometown and its sophistication to Macomb and its simplicity and sort of backwardness. And how her African people viewed that white town as weird, which sort of ironic since those white people thought they themselves were superior to the to Africans.
Mm-hmm.
So highlighting that there is that Macomb represents white society today, and that there are still some racial discrimination and class differences. And then his next paragraph juxtaposes the experiences reading the book when she was young versus when she was old, and how time affected her view on with the messages in the book. Yeah, I think that was
okay. I think that's great. Here's a question. Do you feel like this essay addressed that rhetorical situation and how introductions and conclusions might involve the rhetorical situation, or how the audience might have affected the purpose?
He did mention the audience a little bit, but I don't think he directly talked about how the audience affected the purpose, or how, but he did talk about Adichie specifically trying to address white audiences to try to highlight class discrimination and stuff like that.
Sure. So the audience is acknowledged but not analyzed for in terms of why. Okay, good call. What do you really like about this essay? What do you think this essay does really well?
I think it very concisely analyzes everything, and so it still makes sense. It's not really long and complex.
Well, what do you think about the evidence? Do you think the evidence is done well? Like too long, too short?
His evidence in the first paragraph is really nice. It's pretty short. It's 2 small chunks that he split up and analyzed. And then his second paragraph as evidence might even be a little too short. It's only 4 words.
Okay.
But it's good enough that he's able to analyze it for another half a page. So
yeah, the collective loss of innocence that Adichie, why does she mention the collective loss of innocence in order, and how does that further her purpose? Were you able to gather that in terms of the commentary? How does the collective loss of innocence, why does she purposely choose these words to further her purpose?
Yeah, Josh does, or the person says that that Adichie explores the idea that the realization of these issues still exist, and that this should be challenging adults to try to fight against racism or class discrimination and remove it from modern society. Okay.
You know what I would have liked to see?
Yeah.
When we're talking about that collective loss of innocence, really explaining that the issues of, and then the second, the following, I see the issues of racism and discrimination of class reveals itself in American society. And I think this essay is trying to say that is a collective loss of innocence, but to really define when Adichie talks about that collective loss of innocence, what is she talking about? What group lost what kind of innocence, and how does that relate to that purpose? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because those are the words that she chose to use, and we are analyzing. That's the game. We are analyzing for why did she use these words and not other words?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so that's where the commentary, that's what we're looking to see. The link for that essay is in the comment section for if you're watching this through YouTube. All right. Thank you for watching today. Thank you, Toby.
Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. See you guys next time.